Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline Lopez and today I'm going to be doing this very delicious shrimp boil. Now the only thing is that we are going to be baking it, so it makes it that much more easy. I do want to also take this time to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post a new video, and let's just get into it. Today I'm going to be making a shrimp boil, but it's going to be baked. And let me go through the ingredients right here. I think that'll just make it easier for both of us. I am going to be using 2 tablespoons of Old Bay seasoning mixed into 1 stick of melted butter. Yeah, this is half a cup. And then it's 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. I kind of adjust those 3 to taste. And then I'm going to need 3 tablespoons of fresh parsley. I am using 2 of these bags of small raw peel, deveined, and tail off shrimp. These are a pound, and again I'm using 2 of those. I'm going to be using 1.5 pounds of baby Dutch yellow potatoes. Sometimes I do the little red potatoes, and this one I kind of adjust to. Sometimes I do 1.5 pounds, sometimes I do 2 pounds. It's whatever they have in store, how they have them packaged. This one was on sale for $2.50. Oops. And then I do 1 of these of smoked sausage. Sometimes I do 2 of them, but I'm only gonna do 1 because I have these like beef hot links that were from a different meal, so I'm gonna use that together. So my protein or my meats are going to be the shrimp and these 2 different types of sausages, and then I'm going to be doing 3 corns, and this is sweet yellow corn, I think, and that's usually what I prefer in this recipe. So all I'm going to start doing first is I'm going to cut these into sections. I like them to be small, so depending on the size of the corn, I'll do it into 4, 5, or 6 pieces. I'm gonna chop these off kind of like how they have it here in the picture. They're gonna be thin, but not too thin. The same with this. I'm gonna parboil the potatoes. That just means to cook them in water, boil them till they start to get fork tender. So you're not gonna cook them all the way through, just a little bit. I'm gonna wash these. I think these are already washed though. Paranoid me will still wash them, and then I'm going to cut them into halves because that's just what looks cute in the pan. And I'm gonna cut this into wedges. Again, I'm going to melt the butter, mix it with the garlic, the parsley, and the Old Bay seasoning. Sorry, before I forget, I did want to mention that the butter is unsalted, and it's unsalted because the Old Bay seasoning already has salt, so I don't want to have too much salt in all of this. Also remember, sausage has a lot of salt in it, so it is better to use unsalted. If you only have salted, that's fine, but try to use unsalted. Okay, so I went ahead and already preheated my oven to 400 degrees. It's almost done, it's almost ready. I went ahead and got my sheet pan, and I just put some olive oil on it, and I'll go ahead and I'll spread it around right now if I remember. If not, it'll be fine. I went ahead and melted my butter, and I'm gonna go ahead and make the seasoning mixture. I also already went ahead and baked, not sorry, there's my oven, not baked, I meant parboiled my potatoes. I did cut them in halves and in thirds, and that is, sorry, I went ahead and I cut them in halves and in thirds, so they are going to cook for less time than if I would have left them whole. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, so that's about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and then I'm going to add my 3 tablespoons of the fresh parsley, and then I do need to go grab my measuring spoon for the Old Bay seasoning. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and do around 3 of these. 1, you don't have to be perfect with this. 2, 3, and a little bit for good luck. Just because I did end up having more meat with the sausage and the shrimp. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mix our seasoning. And I hope you can see it. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Oh my gosh, it smells delicious. Yes. And again, because this has salt, make sure that you are using unsalted butter. I can't say that enough, just because you don't want to make it too salty. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding our ingredients. Here are our, oops, I didn't mix olive oil. Okay, so again, I went ahead and I parboiled the potatoes, and at the very end, I added the pieces of corn. And again, this is about how small you want them. So this is like what one person would grab and eat. That's also why I cut the potatoes smaller instead of leaving them whole, because I know we're gonna eat them all real quick if I leave them that big. So just spread this around. Again, these are pretty much already cooked. Our sausage is obviously already cooked. There we go. And I did cut them in different shapes just because these are spicy. So that's just if my son doesn't want to have a lot of those, he can kind of pick and choose what he eats. And this is a lot of food. There we go. And let me go grab my shrimp. And here's the shrimp. I went ahead and I used the same colander. That's why you see little pieces of corn. And then our lemon cut into wedges. And you'll be able to grab that and add it on top of your plate. Sorry, trying to talk and do this at the same time. Oh, this one's thick. Do it at the same time seems to be hard for me to do. And you can use any size of shrimp. I'm using small for this one because that's what was on sale at my grocery store, but I do prefer to have this either with a large or the colossal shrimp. And I'm gonna rinse my hands because I did touch the raw shrimp, and then I'm gonna add our seasoning to it. Okay, give our seasoning final mix in. And we're going to start adding it. And this is why I love these vintage Pyrex containers, because they have this super convenient pour spout. This is why I love spatulas also, because look, it's pretty much clean in here. And I'm gonna see if I can, oops, man down. We lost a piece of sausage, but let's try and mix this as best as we can. Now you can toss this in a big, I was gonna say bucket. Well, I don't know why I was gonna say bucket. In a big bowl, just to make sure that everything is evenly covered. But I love doing it this way. It gives me the feeling of more of a real shrimp boil when I kind of do it like this. And quite honestly, I probably should be using a bigger sheet pan. So if you have a full sheet pan, this is a half sheet pan, or it's the standard for home use. But if you have a full sheet pan, I do recommend that you use that, just so that this is more evenly spaced. The only thing that is raw is the shrimp, and shrimp takes seriously no time to be cooked. So I'm going to put this in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. I think I'm gonna do mine more between 15 to about 17, 18 minutes, just because I did overstuff my pan. And I got this recipe on Pinterest a long time ago, and I went ahead and I modified it. I think I do more butter because I love butter. I think I do more butter and less of the other ingredients because I love garlic, but I don't think it needs as much garlic as they were asking for, and it was for a smaller amount of food. So it'll kind of depend up to you. If you think it's not seasoned enough, you can add more. I do always like to sprinkle a little bit on top just to make sure that everything does have some type of seasoning on it. So again, I'm going to take my seasoning and just sprinkle some extra on top. Very little is coming out of it too, so it looks like much more than what it actually is. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, open like this, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's out of the oven. And here it is straight out of the oven. I did end up leaving it only for 15 minutes, and that was the perfect amount of time to finish cooking my potatoes and corn and to fully cook the shrimp. Now, as a side, we always do some type of noodle. That's not traditionally what goes with this meal, so I decided not to share that. The full recipe will be in the description box. And thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you aren't subscribed to my channel already, please take that moment to subscribe. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and share my video. And follow me over on Instagram. I do share a lot of DIYs over there as well and more recipes. Thank you, and you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.